Joining us now is Jacob Putin-Parambil, founder and CEO of Red Hill Communications. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Rich.
So as mentioned, you started life out of Singapore and you've now grown to have more than 30 offices worldwide. Was there a particular inflection point where you realized this was going to be more than just a regional agency?
Well, I never wanted to start a regional agency because my background was in working for WPP and other large agencies. And when I started my agency, I didn't want it to be another boutique agency. I said, I started the agency when I was 35 years old. So I said, by the time I'm 50, I want to create something big enough so that it's something that has created a name for itself. And luckily for me, there wasn't any Asian-centered communications agency. There were agencies that were boutique size. There were agencies started by expats, but no long-term, Asian agency. So, you start with big ambitions and you can dream big. So we set out from day one to be a global agency. And people used to think that was quite audacious because you're sitting in a tiny room, windowless office on Boat Key in Singapore and trying to convince someone we're going to be a global agency. And it's, there's inflection points at different times. Running a business, I tell them I tell a lot of the people ask me, it's like a video game. You have different levels. And now we are in a, year 12 level. But when I look back, every year, the issues and problems we face as a business is to prepare us for the next level. So I'm quite grateful for all the inflection points we've had.
And obviously we were talking before, you have a great global background as well, so you've seen a lot of the world before you set up the agency. Now, with all these agencies that you're setting up, you were actually the first PR agency to set up in the Abu Dhabi global market at that time, in the ADGM. What drove the decision to set up there as the real hub for serving your clients across the Middle East and Africa?
I've got background working in the Middle East. I've always been a fan of Abu Dhabi. And the decision to set up our regional office here was during COVID. And I also visited Abu Dhabi during that time. And I saw the infrastructure, the packages, framework, and all these things. And, you have to, when we set up an office, we think 5-10 years in advance. So we were very happy with the infrastructure provided. We knew that there's going to be a growth coming out of COVID. So we, the setup, everything was simple. So, and we thought we can, make our hub here in Abu Dhabi and then spread it out the region, and which we have done in the last few years.
Excellent. And we do, and you spoke before about how the industry is ever evolving, and now we live in a time where there's just information overload and AI-driven stories. What does a good story look like to you in this environment?
It's an ever-changing scenario. So whenever I'm asked this, I try to explain how you have to look at it, how people consume media and how the media industry is shaping out. So there is the key behind this is also the attention economy. So we went through a phase in the last few years where people were a lot of clickbait, and also on TikTok and all these things, there is rage baiting. I mean, so the the bad news travels fast. So there's instant breaking of crisis. Even before a company can think of issuing a clarity, it's spread everywhere. And there's a lot of misinformation. So the media industry itself is going through a tight situation. And as we work a lot with the media, our dynamics also needs to change. But overall, I think the governments are also realizing that battling misinformation and the quality of information is very important for a lot of countries. I mean, almost all countries. It's just like food. If your population eats, I don't want to take names, but non-nutritious diet, then you will have a population that is unable to work or think clearly, or other health issues and all these. Same with information. You need to provide people with good, nutritious information, positive thinking information, And that will result in a population that is willing to work harder, doing the right thing, understanding their policies, think long term. And we're seeing that in a lot of countries that the next move would be to battle misinformation, provide good information, build confidence in the people. People have become more practical because of all the clickbaiting and rage baiting. And you're seeing it a lot, especially in countries like Australia. I'm not sure about in the Middle East, that there is a lot more control over social media exposure to younger population. So I think that is where we are headed.
Yes, and especially I know in Australia they have very strict, for that teenage.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's
Till
such a-
16, no, you can watch YouTube Kids, but nothing else. Yeah.
Right, right. And then so that's from an information gathering side, but how are you actually incorporating AI into what you do? And is there an overlap with using AI to actually spot some of this misinformation?
Yeah. So that is something that we realized about 2 to 3 years ago. And then we started working on this element. And usually these things come when, because we specialize in crisis and reputation. So if we get even 15 minutes advance warning about something, there's a lot we can do. So we focused on creating those tools to battle it. And we've been working with various government link companies, governments to implement this. The second aspect is that the integrity of information, it has been diluted because of AI. So we had a case where there was two companies competing against each other, small companies, but founders had egos, and the other side used an AI system to put up around 300 websites, publish false news articles, this thing, submit them to search engines, all this under 30 minutes.
Wow.
So what happens is that, imagine if you're a listed company, and by the time we could get this thing to it, we can't take them all down. We can't reach out to this thing. It's been shared on social media, this thing. So that opened our eyes to a new kind of, warfare when it comes to it. So then we spent like a year building systems where if you use AI systems to plant these kind of this thing, then we have a system to go out there and take it down. So it's like an arms race, and you have to keep doing it. So those are the two areas where we try to specialize in when it comes to AI.
No, that's interesting, the comparison to an arms race, because obviously the outcomes of that are just as, I'm not trying to compare the two, but also very dangerous in terms of reputation, right? Which does take a long time to get back. Last question, if I may, Jacob. As alongside AI, what are some other key trends that you're seeing in the PR industry at the moment?
Anything that is linked to content generation, there'll be a value depletion because AI is making a lot of content. But anything that is focused into giving advice, reputation, crisis management, a lot more human touch and advice is required. I often joke that it's lawyers and PR people who don't have to fear from AI, because we share a lot with our clients. They trust us. We're a very sticky relationship, and that angle is very difficult for AI to take away. A lot of the grunt work will be taken by AI, of course, drafting things and all that. That is where you're going to see a drastic change. But when the going gets tough and you have to make a decision, do we do this or do we do this? Then, PR people and lawyers, you need that.
Very interesting. And I guess those are also the people you want to rely on in a time of crisis, right? And you want the human element there as well. So thank you so much for coming in to join us today, Jacob. And thank you for choosing ADGM as your home here in the Middle East.
Thanks so much.